Let's talk about Scott Pilgrim, the franchise that looked at romance, indie rock, video games, emotional immaturity, and said, why not all of it at once? Created by Bryan Lee O'Malley, Scott Pilgrim has always had the energy of someone who drank 3 Red Bulls, got dumped, listened to too much garage rock, and decided to turn their quarter life crisis into a boss rush mode. And honestly, we're better for it. So when Scott Pilgrim EX was announced, a brand new 2D beat 'em up from Tribute Games, I was cautiously optimistic because we've been here before. Back in 2010, Ubisoft gave us Scott Pilgrim vs. the World the game. It looked amazing, the pixel art beautiful, the soundtrack legendary, but playing it, you hit like a damp pool noodle for the first few hours. It leaned more towards Streets of Rage than River City Ransom, except you didn't start with all your moves, and the game basically said, hey, grind this level again, and again, and again. So the big question is, did Scott Pilgrim EX learn from that? Short answer, yes. Long answer, oh, absolutely yes, but with a couple of hold on a second caveats. Scott Pilgrim EX drops you into an alternate universe scenario that feels spiritually connected to Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. Scott and Ramona are trying to rescue Scott's kidnapped bandmates from Metal Scott. Yes, Metal Scott. Imagine Scott Pilgrim but designed by a villain who shops exclusively in the menacing chrome section of a robot catalogue. Toronto is once again the battleground, but this time it's full of rogue robots, demons, suspiciously swole vegans, and shadowy organizations doing shadowy organization things. It's chaotic, it's self-aware, it's very Scott Pilgrim, but what really sells it is the roster. You don't just play as Scott and Ramona, you get reformed League of Evil X's members like Matthew Patel, Lucas Lee, Roxy Richter, Robot 01, Gideon Graves, and let me tell you, playing as Gideon feels illegal in the best way. It's like the game is saying, yes, we know he was the villain, but what if he was your main? Combat is the biggest glow up from the 2010 game. You don't start weak. You don't have to unlock the ability to feel competent. You have real tools immediately. Scott Pilgrim EX follows a modern River City style formula, closer to something like River City Girls, where exploration and RPG mechanics blend into the brawler structure. Every character has light and heavy combos, launches, air juggles, AoE supers, defensive mechanics, blocking, dodging, parrying. It's all here. But the real MVP mechanic, hop attacks. Hop attacks are the difference between I am overwhelmed and I am the anime protagonist. Once I mastered those, the second half of the game felt like controlled chaos instead of frantic button mashing. Each character actually feels distinct too. Robot 01 dominates at range but struggles up close. Lucas Lee hits like he's personally offended by your existence. Gideon has sword knockdowns, counters, and a screen clearing super that looks like it moonlights in a fighting game tournament, and the controls? Tight, responsive, clean, no sluggishness, no weird input delay. It feels good to punch things, and in a beat 'em up that's non-negotiable. 1 minute you're in a prehistoric Flintstone-style landscape. The next, you're in a gothic castle, clearly winking at Castlevania with just a sprinkle of bloodborne mood lighting. Then suddenly you're on a train that feels like it wants to high-five Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in time. There's even a car-smashing bonus stage straight out of Street Fighter 2. It's absurd in the best way. And the mini-games, they're quick, they're weird, they don't overstay their welcome. Volleyball matches against buff vegans. Timed ice block pushing challenges. Survival waves. Platforming segments. It keeps the pacing from ever feeling stale. Now let's talk progression. You earn money by beating up enemies as you should. That's the Toronto economy. You spend it in shops across the city. Food boosts stats permanently. Coffee shops become your best friend. Video stores turn into late game power hubs. You can equip 4 clothing items and 2 accessories, and some accessories completely change your playstyle. The great news, you don't buy moves anymore. The less great news, you still grind. Bosses expect you to be at certain levels. If you're underleveled, they will politely ignore your damage output. So yes, you'll farm enemies, you'll revisit areas, you'll optimize your shopping route, like you're speedrunning capitalism. But here's the twist, grinding is actually kind of fun this time. The combat is good enough that repeating encounters doesn't feel like a chore, until once you hit level 200 and beyond, the game gets too easy. Like, suspiciously easy. Enemies melt, bosses lose their menace, Assists become borderline broken. There's no meaningful level scaling, no survival mode, no escalating boss rush, no prove you deserve this power endgame. And that's honestly the biggest missed opportunity because the combat system is strong enough to support something brutal. Instead, you eventually become an overleveled anime demigod wandering through Toronto. Fun? Yes. Challenging? Not really. Visually, this game is beautiful, but busy. When you're playing solo, everything's readable. When you're playing 4-player co-op, it's pixel confetti, supers flying, assists triggering, enemies flooding in. There were moments I genuinely lost my character in the fireworks. It's not a deal breaker, but expect occasional squinting. So, is it worth it? Absolutely. Scott Pilgrim EX feels like a developer saying, "We learned, we listened, we fixed it. It corrects the biggest flaws of the 2010 game. It respects the source material. It feels mechanically modern without losing retro charm. Is it perfect? No. It needs a harder endgame. It needs better scaling. It needs something for the level 200 monsters among us. But as it stands, it's stylish, it's chaotic, it's genuinely fun, especially in co-op. I'm giving Scott Pilgrim EX an 8 out of 10. It's a fantastic beat 'em up with tons of personality and depth, held back only by balance issues and lack of long-term challenge. If you're a Scott Pilgrim fan, this is essential. If you love belt-scrolling brawlers, this is one of the stronger modern entries in the genre. If you enjoy grinding until you accidentally break the game, you're going to thrive. Alright, that's my take on Scott Pilgrim EX. Now I want to hear from you. Who are you meaning? Did you break the game at level 200? And would you want to see a survival or roguelite mode added? If you enjoyed this review, hit the like button. It genuinely helps more than you think. Subscribe for more gaming reviews and drop a comment below with your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a Metal Scott problem to deal with.